Alrighty.
All right.
Wow, it's just the two brothers.
Yeah, right.
Other versions.
How about it?
Yeah, I know.
Welcome back.
I know.
I know
It's
you
been-
had to do your quarantine thing since
I know.
you caught the old COVID
I know.
right at the end of your trip, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't seen Cameron in like a month.
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, we got very lucky in mom got COVID, so then we had to like retreat the same week Cameron had left
Right.
for his vacation, and then we stayed at her parents' house for the week.
Yep.
And then went on our cruise to Bermuda just to find out there's a tropical storm.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
well, yeah. I know we'll get into it. That part of the reason why I didn't try to talk too much because I wanted to say it for the podcast.
Yeah.
So how run me through how it was like from start to finish.
So the actual whole deal, it was so much. So it's like the same format as a airport, but it's just so much quicker. Like from top to bottom, everyone's so nice. Like we walked just as soon as we got out of the car, there was people there to take our bags, and we're just super nice. And then we went through like a Boston cop who had to check your passport first before even letting you in line.
Right.
And just like right away, he looked at mine, then looked at hers, and then turned to me and was like, "Oh wow, yours was a while ago, huh?" Because my photo was like from 5 years ago. It was like short hair and all. So it's like, "Geez, you look different, huh?" He's like, "Didn't even recognize you when I looked at your ID." It's interesting. I was like, "Yeah."
It seems like security is pretty lax compared to going to the airport.
I mean, they still check and everything, but it's just so much nicer. Like they're like not TSA, but like
Similar.
kind of, yeah. How you have to like go through the X-ray, not X-ray, metal detector. Yeah. Like even the people before you walk up to that were super nice. Even the woman who like once you walk up these stairs and to walk into that line, like she was the one who just like points you in directions. Even she was like really nice, and her day is nothing but sitting on a stool pointing.
Right.
And so it's like top to bottom was such nice people, and it took us less than an hour. Like it's so quick. But yeah, so to fast forward a little bit, we're supposed to be at sea for 2 days. And then we're supposed to spend 3 days in Bermuda, 3 days, 2 nights, and then we spend a day at sea. Then we'd stop at Bar Harbor, and then we go back to Boston and our home.
That seems like a pretty quick cruise from Bermuda to Maine.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, you said
Bar Harbor.
Well, yeah, that's Maine.
Yeah.
So it took them 24 hours to steam from Bermuda to Maine?
Well,
or was it like a day and a night or something?
yeah, kind of like that. Because
Okay.
you leave at like 6 or 4. Like I think actually we left at like 4. So I mean, yeah, you have like a day and a half really. But with the tropical storm, I want to say like Casey or something like that. I don't remember the name. I should though. No one knew what was going on. Like we were sitting on the top deck and everyone's like drinking, having fun. It was the best day like we had in general. And the captain comes over and you can't hear. The speakers are so poorly placed, and he just come over and is like, shh, and everyone on the ship is like from other countries. So
You mean like the crew?
Yeah. Even the big crew, like the dudes who run the ship.
Yeah.
But from top to bottom, everyone's kind of from different countries, but everyone's so nice. And he's like, "We're going to be leaving Bauhaus," and you're like, but it's also the system's so weak too. So you're like, and everyone's looking at each other like, "What is going on? What are we doing?" And no, like, and then it kind of ends, and it was like no joke, like 7-minute message, and we're like, we're not getting this. And the like activity director of the cruise was doing like a whole little contest on the deck. So once like the intercom comes over, they have to like halt everything. So like the DJ stopped, all that, And they're like, waiting, and it ends. And she goes, all right, did everyone hear what that was? And everyone was like, no. And she goes, all right, well, so, and just goes back to her contest. And we're like,
oh man,
hold on, we want to know what's going on.
right.
And then kind of just like through whispers, everyone kind of finds out that the plan was us to go to Bermuda the first day still, and then leave that night. And basically, so like if the island's here, the storm was coming from like through Florida and coming up. So like we're across from North Carolina, so it's coming up and just was supposed to directly hit. So the plan was for us to kind of loop out and just basically come back as it left.
Right.
So the new plan was that first day we're there, we leave that night, loop around, spend the entire day looping around it,
right,
come back, and then would be there for the third day that we'd initially be there, and then we'd be there for the day and then leave again at night. So instead of 3 days, 2 nights, it was 2 afternoons. So maybe we spent like 14 hours there total. It was such choppy waters because we didn't go far enough out.
I mean, I saw the brief video that you'd sent.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a short video. I mean, you couldn't really get a sense of how it looked choppy, but you couldn't really get a sense of how bad it was.
No matter what video you took, it didn't do it justice. And then just including walking, it was like, I think we spent like a good amount of the day in our room just because it was so aggressive, and it was like, oh, like we're not gonna walk around and struggle walking.
Yeah.
But even with all of that, like we, for the most part, were on the ship because like even once we left Bermuda on that third day, we ended up leaving at like 6 that first day, and then that second day we were there, we left at like 4. And a family like almost missed the boat. It was so funny.
Really?
We were laying down, relaxing, had the sliding door open, and just kind of enjoying the day because it was so nice. And periodically, it was hearing like people like, "Woo, yeah, woo!" Like, kind of stops, and then you hear more like, "Woo, oh, yeah." Like, what is going on? Like, it's getting a lot of people are really jumping in. So it's clearly not from...
Did you get him?
I don't think so. Nope. I don't think so.
Now he's over here.
Wow. He is a sneaky bugger.
He's pretty wily.
Yeah, he's a fighter. The mosquito's just been lurking. So I get up and I'm looking around trying to see... And all the rooms with the balcony, there's like a glass wall there, so you can't see through it. But if you just kind of lean against your thing, you can see who's next to you. So like if everyone else is on there, on their
balcony,
you can see. And I turn to the woman and she goes, "Oh, there's a family trying to get to the boat." And we look out. And you can kind of see them running. It was like a mom running, then her son, and then just an older woman walking. Like 20 yards behind them.
Oh, man.
So then they kind of get closer and everyone starts cheering more. Because, like, they can't see the ramp to the boat. Because, like, once that's up, they're not putting it back down for you. As they're coming, like, the woman next to us, she's like, "I've been on a bunch of cruises. I've seen 2 different families be left before." I was like, "Are you serious?" She goes, "They don't wait for you." Like,
that's pretty fucked up.
It's crazy.
I mean, what's the protocol? You're just stuck in a strange place.
Yeah, for real. I mean, but they tell you so much in advance, especially our situation. We're like, this is when we're leaving. Like,
be here or we're not waiting for you.
But that's the other thing too. Like, they tell you, like we were told, I think 4, because actual leaving time was like 4:30, 4:40, like 5.
They gave you some leeway?
Yeah, like there's cushion.
Yeah.
And so like there's a building you have to walk through too. Like they have to check, make sure you are who you are. You go through the building and then you get to the ramp. So like you can't see the ramp when you're walking up. So like they're just running. They don't know where they're at. And I kind of look down and the guy's like bringing in the poles and stuff. Like the ramp's still up, but he's bringing in the signs. like, they're cutting it close.
So did they end up making it?
They did, but I honestly, I thought the mom and the son were, and I thought the old woman wasn't. I didn't, because she had no hop in her step. Like, she acted like she owned a Norwegian cruise. Like, she was Martha Norwegian. I was like, I don't know what her confidence is, but she just strolled. Like, they were in the building as she's walking past our room, and we're like a good still 50 feet from like our room to where you get checked.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, like, there's a good chance. And I kind of look, and I still don't see them come out the other end. I'm like, it's getting really close. Like, because once that thing's up, like, that's up. They're not wheeling it back because they got to start undoing the ropes.
Right.
Like, they're not going to hazardly do this.
Right.
Looking, and I'm looking, and I see the guy turn, and he waits a second, and then the mom and the son come out, and they even do the, like, and then find it, because they're like, you're just so, like, emotioned probably in that situation. It's like running through the terminals of the airport when you're like, my flight leaves at 5 and it's 4:50.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. So she finally gets there, and she gets on with her son, and everyone's like cheering. Everyone's giving them a little shit. And like the mom, she kind of has to walk by all of us on the balcony. And everyone's like, oh, come on. Like, what are you doing? Come on. And like the boy's just like looking, because he's not young. Like, he's like 7 maybe. And he's like looking up as everyone's kind of just chirping at them. And mom's like, come on, like, we still got to go. And like, you still don't see the older woman. And again, she just casually strolls and gets on. And within 5 minutes of them getting on, goes up, wheels it in, done. I was like, they're like 5 minutes from their day being, like, their trip ruined.
Yeah.
Because all you can do is now fly out of here. That's your only option.
Assuming you have all your stuff with you.
You have to take your ID. You have to take your ID with you.
You're obviously going to take cash and stuff with you.
Yeah,
but if you're caught at the wrong time, you're pretty boned.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, as the trip whole, it was still a lot of fun. Like, we bonded with a bartender. I can't remember. I think it was like maybe Vinny, something like that. It was an aggressive name, and we spent like the last day really like looking at his name tag so we could remember it and shout him out, because he was so awesome. Like, we got to watch the first 2 final games, which
yeah, we know how that worked out.
Yeah, no, sorry, the second and third game, but yeah, so we watched the second and third game there, and we'd get seats right at the bar, and like he even kind of like helped us set up to get the seats, good seats to watch. And then like even during the game, like he'd make someone like a frozen drink or something, and he'd just give Maddie the leftover of it, of like what was blended and stuff, and like he just kind of randomly come over and like give us something, and we'd be like, what's this? But he was also like, someone would order a different drink, and someone at the bar would be like, what is that? And he'd be like, alcohol. Just to give it to him. They're like, oh, okay. And just like he was just so cool. He was so awesome. And he like, when we I mean, you don't have to tip, but like he was such an awesome guy, we still gave him a tip a couple times. And then on the last night we brought a bunch of ones, so like the whole goal is to give it out. Right. So we gave him like what we had left between him and our room guy, who was really cool too.
Your room guy?
The guy who like cleans your room. So like,
housekeeping?
Yes, but like that, each person is given like, I think like 4 rooms. So like you only deal with the one guy.
Right.
So the entire time one guy cleaned our room. So like if we ever had questions or anything, it was him. So but like we gave him the extra money, and he was like, oh, thank you guys. Like, can I get you anything else? Like, and if we didn't want to drink, he'd be like, come on.
Well, I'm assuming the way that works out is, like you said, you don't have to tip. Mm-hmm. So they probably get gratuity out of what you paid for the cruise, right?
Yeah, you have to pay for it. So, like, no matter what, they get a tip. But
whatever else is just extra.
Yeah. Yes, but they still like they don't even. So like what we gave him, he didn't get it all because it's like him and another guy worked at that specific bar.
And they split their tips.
Probably, I think so. But he said we kind of were asking him too about it, and it's like working on a cruise is that's so aggressive.
Well,
it's tough.
It's funny. I never been on a cruise, and I don't really know anything about them. But shortly before you guys left, I was bored at home one afternoon, and I'm skipping through documentaries, and I found a cruise ship documentary where they show you like all the behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Got him.
Nice.
He's dead. He's dead.
Let's go.
He's dead.
But yeah, so this documentary showed all the like behind the scenes kind of stuff, and it's like, it's crazy how massive the operation is. And like it shows you like the kitchen and like how crazy that operation is, into like how they recycle all their wastewater and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show like the cruise quarters, and like the rooms are like these little tiny
you don't
little
get
tiny
a
things.
bunch of room.
Yeah. So and there's been a couple instances where I've gotten job offers to work in a cruise ship. Just like, yeah, that's I don't think that's for me. But
yeah, I bet you get paid very well for it. Because like we even asked him, we were like, I was like, well, like what do you like? But do you like doing this better than like a regular bar? And he goes, we kind of make more money doing this. And he goes, everyone's just also like so much nicer. He's like, because everyone comes on here and they just like they're vacationing. So like, it's the same with like when we got there, like the boarding process. Like everyone's so nice because everyone's nice to them.
Right.
Like the airport, like not everyone's going on vacation at the airport. Like some people
true.
are going business. So like some people just want to get in and out, and like you disrupt that flow for them. Like they're gonna be pissed at you.
Yeah.
We're like a cruise, like no one's cruising to a business meeting. So it's like everyone's just so nice. Everyone's joking around. And he was like, yeah, it's just a better environment. Everyone, even if it's like, he's like, even right now, like you guys are honestly have kind of shitty luck. He's like, everyone's still in a really good mood because everyone's on vacation. Everyone's just having fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, so like, though, are there certain cruises you won't do? And he goes, what one was it? I think he said like spring break. He goes, I won't. He goes, I did one once, and he's like, I'm never doing it again. And
I can imagine
his partner was not that we weren't like didn't really talk to him, but like we didn't talk to him as much, and we weren't even talking to him at the time. And he was just kind of passing, and he's like, you don't ever do it. And we're like, it's that bad? He goes, it's awful. He goes, everyone's rude, they're disruptive. He goes, and honestly, like they don't tip. He goes, like you guys have been tipping me. He's like, no one does. You don't make money. It's much more of a headache. It's people are rude. They break stuff. He goes, it's a bad time.
Yeah.
It's a terrible time.
No, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that being the case.
Yeah, but it is.
What was your favorite aspect of the ship? Like, was there a spot that you guys fell in love with? Well, not fell in love with.
That spot. The bar. The area was. I think we were on. See, this is when it would have been nice if she was here because she knows that info. I can't remember which ship we were on. Whatever, it might have been like the Pearl or something. But I think it was. I just had it. The atrium. It's called the atrium. So it's like a crystal bar type of area. So it's where we watch the Celtics finals games, and it's like the screen was like the size of like 2 garage doors.
Yeah.
Both like wide and stacked. It was huge. So it was so cool to watch. It was like you're at a movie theater watching the game, but you're also sitting at a legit bar.
Right.
But then also there's like kind of lounge chairs, like massive rows, and then you go up these 2 wide stairs, and it's another restaurant bar above you, and then like crystals are hanging down. There weren't as many crystals as you'd expect for the crystal bar, But like when we got there, I was like, oh, like so this is called the atrium or whatever, and the guy's like, yeah, this is the crystal bar or whatever. Like there's crystals and stuff, and I looked up, I'm like, there's like 15 crystals up there, man. Like, these are crystals.
Yeah.
I was like, I was expecting a little bit more pizzazz, but yeah, that place was really cool because it was always you could always really easily get a drink. The hardest time to get a drink there was during the finals. But like we'd get there an hour and a half before the game and just like hang out with them.
Right.
And then there was a legit whiskey like gin bar that was maybe the floor below, but that one was cool because they did like specific like martinis and stuff where they were like that was supposed to be the only place you could get some of those drinks, but like the guy we had like would be like, no, I'll make them.
Yeah.
They just won't be in the glass.
Right.
So it was like you still got it, but it was a really cool time where I'm like, I kind of want to go again. Like, it's tons of fun. And it's definitely one of those things where like, if you're not going to meet people to have a good time, I can see how it's really good to be in a group where I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's also it's a really good like people watching thing.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because like there were a 21-year-old group that was there, and like not all of them knew each other, so it was fun over the few days to watch them, like because they're 21, 22 we heard, because one of the girls turned 22 on the cruise. So they're all kind of that young, like party situation, so it was fun like watching and being like, oh, I remember that, I remember being like that. But then like seeing the guys who are like trying to be cool and sly with these girls they don't know, but then they're trying to be like fun and mysterious, and it's so much fun watching it. Like you're still at a bar,
Right.
but the best part is you see how it evolves, because like I get to watch you guys for a week. Like, I get to see. So like the first day or two, that same girl was like, oh, this guy was all over her. And then like the second day, like we were watching the finals game and they were sitting in front of us, and like he's kind of watching the game and she's like all over him, and they're like making out a bunch, and we're like, homegirl's getting it in.
Yeah.
But after that day we didn't see them together.
Ooh.
So we're like, all right, it was a one and done kind of deal. Don't know where homeboy went. But then, so it was just so cool. And then there was like this 30-year-old guy who's like he's single. He was here with his family, like his mom and dad and like sister or something. But like was trying to be the cool older guy in a group of young kids. But like that's not how they took it.
Right.
So it was so funny to see like they would like legitimately like make fun of him. Like you could tell because he's just like that weird guy.
Just like socially awkward kind of thing.
Extremely, yeah. Like he was way too like over the top in like a way where you're like, dude, you don't get social cues. You don't like. We watched him once. The group of them like went from one bar to another, just to kind of like see what the vibe was better. And we watched him like leave to like follow them, and would be like 5 to 7 steps behind them walking, but like trying to be with them, but like not being.
That's super weird.
It was so awkward, but
That's so weird.
It was tons of fun to watch because
it
it is a blast. It's real good people watching. Jeez. But
so how was Bermuda itself when you got there? I mean, you only spent a short amount of time there, but what was it like over there?
It was really cool. It was the same deal. Like everyone was so nice. From like talked about like the first day we did this, we took a boat ride that brought us to the Capitol, but because of the storm coming, like all the shops were closed, so like there was nothing to do.
Really?
Yeah. So like it was a bunch of us just kind of wandering the Capitol, and it's not like it's anything special. Like there really wasn't a lot to do there. So it was like we definitely went to the wrong place, like the wrong first day. But like just getting off, like you walk in the street, like just some dude who's going, I don't know, to his house or something, like just walking, would just be like, you guys all set? You need help finding anything? You good?
Yeah.
Like, not a business owner, not a dude trying to sell you anything.
Just a random
yeah,
guy.
just walking like, you guys good? Do you need help are you looking for anything special, or are you just like, oh, we're just wandering? And he's like, all right, well, if you're kind of looking for something like this, like, hey, just go down here, do this, you'll be good.
Yeah.
And so like everyone's just so nice, and then he's just like, all right, have a great time, guys, see ya. Just so cool.
Yeah.
But it was like, we went to the Capitol and everything's closed, so we were like counting the time to leave because we were like there's nothing to do here, and you had to spend like 3-4 hours
Right.
there and then go back, and then basically we left.
Right.
But the second time we went, we took like a car tour,
Mm-hmm.
and dude, was so cool. It was so fun, and it was beautiful. You really got to see some cool stuff. And then the last bit of it, you went to Hamilton, I think.
Hamilton's the capital,
No.
right? No, what's the...
Oh wait, I don't remember.
Because before you guys had got back, I had group texted with you and Maddie and asked you.
Yeah,
It's like Bermuda's super, super tiny. Like,
it's 23 miles long. Like length is 23, and it's like width is something pretty small too. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's not huge, but the capital is like more of the small like little shops. Where the last place you went, it may have been Hamilton. I can't remember the name. But it was a lot more of like the city, and there was more stuff to do. But it was like we just didn't have time because you had to take a ferry, and they were like, he was like, hey, I was told to tell you guys like very specifically, like you need to be on this ferry at the 3:00 one, or you will not make your cruise out.
right,
You'll miss your boat.
right.
And like we got there with like not even 20 minutes.
To spare?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we were like, there's no time to really do anything. But right at the shipyard, like there's tons of like, if you're just looking for like small little things, like my big takeaway was I wanted to get cigars and I wanted to get rum.
Right.
Right at the boat dock, there's dudes, a specific guy. I can't remember his name now.
You just forgot everybody's names. Huh?
Yeah, I'm so bad with stuff. But he like specifically rolls his own stuff. Like he used to be a teacher, and then he quit and went to Texas and learned how to
roll cigars.
And he's like super popular.
No.
So I went to go see him, but like I even went to the wrong guy at first, and I was like, "Did you used to be a teacher?" And he goes, "No. You're looking for what's his name." If you go right down here, and I didn't even buy anything from him yet, so it's not like he like got my money or anything. But he's like, "No, you're looking for him. See that? Go down that street, take a left in this building. He's there.
Yeah,
you'll find him." And then kind of like took a few steps away because he's at just like a little,
like a stall.
Kind of, yeah. And I was like, oh, like I kind of now felt bad. I was like, well, he's basically sending me to the competitor. So
Yeah.
I was like, so I bought some stuff from him. And he was like, oh, like, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I was like, yeah. So I go see him. And he goes, oh, like, how did you find me? Like, how did you, because there's nothing like advertising it. Like the guy had a table within its own little store.
Yeah.
I go, well, I had someone who went on this cruise recommend you to me, and then I couldn't find you at first, and I went to the other guy by the dockyard. He's like, oh, Anthony or whatever his name was, and he was like, oh yeah, he's a really good guy, and he's like, and kind of told me like, yeah, we're competitors, but like we'll go get a beer every once in a while together. Like we're still in the same industry, we still support each other.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, we're competitors, but like we respect each other, help each other out like that.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, dudes who are competing against each other are still helping each other out. I'm like, this is such a cool place.
Well, I mean, you figure it's such a small community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And all their money just comes off of tourism, I would assume.
I think that's their second or third.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The tour guy told us, I was like, it used to be their moneymaker, but now that like the Caribbeans and stuff are like a year-round thing, they just constantly have the weather. They're like North Carolina without the snow. They're like, we'll never get snow. Our coldest record day is like 36 or 33 or something like that. But they're like,
that's probably only for like a day.
Yeah, but they're like, it's just like not warm or like tropical enough where people are going to come year round.
Ah.
So like a lot of businesses do stuff like online and other stuff like that. But I still make a lot of money off of it. But
How was the entertainment? You sent me that picture. You guys were in like a theater type thing. They were doing a play of some sort.
yeah, it was really disappointing.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, the whole vibe they sent was like, do you like Billy Joel, Elton John, classical rock kind of deal? We got a show coming, and we're like, oh, that's cool. Like, yeah, I'd want to see a cover band. That'll be fun. It'll be cool because we go to so many cover bands with Dad and all that. I'm like, oh, that'll be so cool. Get there, and it's like, and I'm like, curtains open, there's no instruments. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. What, are we gonna wheel out drums? What are we gonna do here? And just some guy comes out like pirouetting or whatever. And we both like kind of chuckle a little bit and like at different times glance over at each other, not making eye contact yet. And
Like, are you into this? Like,
And
who's
then
gonna,
it's
who's gonna
like-
say it first?
they're dancing and like really singing, like it's really Broadway. And then we just finally like it goes maybe like a minute in, and we finally are like, this isn't what we thought it was at all. Not at all. There's like four people who would sing, and then there were like 6 dancers constantly. So it was like,
Kind of hokey.
yeah. So like, we stayed for most of the thing just because it was so like, what else are we gonna do? And it's like, oh, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
But
Kind of captive audience.
yeah, there was that. There was a comedian. There was, an aerial couple. Like they did the whole like ropes and spinning in the air.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It was cool, but it was like, I don't know, it went a little long. I think there was like a country singer guy, but we didn't go see that. 'Cause he was like an Irish country singer guy in his like whole thing. Because they on their TVs they have like certain their own broadcasting, and the guy had his own like commercial for it. And
Yeah.
he's like, the Shane O'Hannessy concert. It's different. I'm really being me, and I play my music and I tell my stories, and it might not go well, but it's gonna go my way or whatever. And I'm like, cool, buddy, cool, Jameson, keep it up. I don't know. So like some parts you're like, oh, this is all,
Yeah.
but it was a good amount of entertainment going on.
Right.
And like they're all on the ship with you too. So like
Right.
all those dancers and stuff. Like we were having breakfast once, and I like look back and they're like all at a table back there.
Right.
It's a good thing you didn't like chirp or talk any shit.
Right.
But there was so there was this guy too, like in the atrium bar we were at. Some of the bars will have people playing music, like their own. So like there was a guy who did the piano a lot and sang, and then that specific guy played the guitar and like did songs and covers and stuff. But he also did his own music. Like obviously he wrote his own music, and it was so funny within like maybe the 3rd day, because everyone really plays in the same spots. There was a family, like 3 older kids and then the parents. And he like went into some of his own music, and one of his songs is like the kind of like sing-along part of it is just saying like, shout it out, shout it out, shout it out. So that family got so into it, like just that family like really hyping a guy up for like kind of the inner joke fun of it. But then like they really ended up bonding with the guy.
Yeah.
So like the first night we like watched them do it, and they would be like, they were in front of a Starbucks that was in it, standing to the side, and they'd be like, shout it out, shout it out, like really hyping him up. And he'd be like, okay, all right, like really into it. And then like by the last day, they were like sitting front row, like knew him. What are you doing? Are you joining? What are you doing?
Are you jumping in?
How's it going?
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Spreading COVID all around, all over the place. Yeah.
You have that problem with Joshua.
America. Oh,
You gonna jump in here? I was gonna pivot to the Celtics here in a little bit. I had a couple more questions for him.
Josh is the basketball expert now.
Yeah.
Well, no, I
Did you
mean,
not see him?
I mean,
Did you get that approved by the NBA?
Marcus Smart actually sent it to me personally.
Oh,
So yeah, but
Do you know why he has green hair?
yeah, his mom
Yeah.
liked it. So
I mean, isn't it crazy
Yeah.
that you sent me the Snapchat about Steve Kerr? 30 seconds after they're like, "Oh, Steve Kerr's got 9
no,
rings."
no, I
You're a fucking
had
liar.
no, I looked it up. I'm not kidding. I was like, oh, had told Maddie, was like, oh, Steve Kerr has like 3 rings from the Bulls. I'm like, this dude has like 7 rings, and then I'm like, let me look it up real quick, and I was like, he played for the Spurs and won championships there,
Yeah.
and was like, oh my god, and I no joke was saying it to other people, and then they said it, and I was like, and like as I did it, Maddie was like, I guess you didn't need to do all that work. Because at first I was like, he didn't win 5 rings with the Bulls. He wasn't there for all the years. And then I saw the Spurs, so I was like, okay. But
That's
so are you gonna jump in here?
no, I'm just stopping by for a minute.
Well, you want to at least get on camera here?
Stop by for a second. I don't want to sit next to Josh.
that's not plugged in, so.
That's fine. I don't know if I'll fit. Probably not.
Okay, shut up for a
Okay,
second.
so yeah.
So to finish
actually,
my
well-
story,
Actually,
the guy,
You might as well just get mic'd up if you're sitting here.
can you hear me?
I mean, very, very, very faintly.
I'll talk loud.
no, just plug it in real quick.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't have much to say.
So they were sitting front row, and like we already like we'd been there enough, and like the staff around already knew, and so he's like, all right, just so everyone knows, in case you haven't been coming here all week, like I got my fan group right here, and they're like, wow, yeah,
His groupies.
yeah, and like he's like, I'm gonna play that song. When you do, I'm gonna walk you through it, but and he finally like gets to it, and everyone's super excited. And he goes, just follow their lead, and he just starts going through it, and he like is playing, and he's like shout it, and they're like doing it at him like really aggressively, because like that's what he said. He's like, just really do it at me, and he like broke, like he kind of actually had to turn and was like, oh my god. And afterwards he's like, just so y'all know, I was very emotional after the first night. Your group was so into it. He goes, I told my family about it, and they're like, they think I'm a rock star right now. He goes, it was the best feeling, and they're like, we love it, it's the best. And it, like, he honestly had some not bad songs. Like, he had like 3 pretty good songs,
Yeah.
but I don't remember his name. Right back to not remembering the name.
Yeah,
It would be really
seriously.
nice to give him a shout out, but I don't know it.
I mean, I feel like you've called some of these folks Anthony like multiple times. So I guess the blanket name for all these people that you met is just Anthony.
Anthony was our actual
Or Vinny.
tour driver.
Anthony
Vinny
and
or
Vinny.
Vin something was the bartender.
Right.
I don't remember. It was like
Vincenzo.
no. It actually the singer guy's name was a name where like you read it, and it apparently like had a more like a French kick up of it, where like if you said it, like if you were like Corey, it'd be like the actual name would be like call it or so, I don't know, something like his actual name was always said incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
But
No.
yeah, it was cool.
Did you ever find yourself lost at any point on the ship? It's like take a wrong turn. You're like, I have no idea where we are right now.
No, but the last night we were there,
You find the heart of the sea, though.
we went to the
Josh is not a very good storyteller tonight.
you had to go. What a piece of shit. Him and Dean are just very disrespectful to the studio.
Yeah,
That's all I have to
seriously.
say. Him and Dean treat it like shit. We had to go do this like check-in thing, and we went down this other hallway, and it all of a sudden took us through like the back end of the casino. It was like,
Oh, there was a casino on board?
yeah, it's not huge, but we like, I was like, I'm so fucked up right now of like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
It like really messed me up. I was like, whoa. It did not figure out how we got here. Like, it really messed me up because it was like this whole time we've been here, we never hit that hallway. It's like, what the fuck? But it was like one of the smaller ships, and it was half like capacitated. Just because like people didn't really book, so it was really cool. Of like, you really saw the same few people. Like, I don't know, it'd be cool.
Yeah,
it was a cool situation. But
I don't know. That's one of those things. Like, I mean, if I was on a cruise, I would kind of want to explore and check everything out.
You definitely, yeah, we did. It's just like once after the third, fourth day, like you really
knew where everything was.
You've seen everything. The only thing that sucked for us was we so the late night buffet would be at like 2 different spots. It was either on the main deck, and it was called like the Great Outdoors, but it was like outdoors, obviously. But we couldn't ever find it. Like, we looked for it once to have lunch there, and we couldn't find it. We could not find it. We're like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. Like. And, like, there were, like, a water slide and stuff that wasn't there that, like, they showed it was, because it was an older images and stuff, so it was, like, taken down. So we're like, maybe this restaurant just isn't here. Maybe they
just haven't updated their stuff.
Yeah, like, it's not here anymore. But then we'd see signs, and it was like, the buffets at the Great Outdoors. We're like, well, what the fuck is the Great Outdoors? Like, we cannot find this thing.
Right.
And the second to last night, it's like, it's super windy because we're in the middle of the water, and it was still around the tropical storm thing. And we're walking around, and I'm like, you know what? The basketball court out there. I remember the first night we walked past the basketball court. There's this little bar. I thought it was just a bar. I was like, let's just go check it out. Like, what's the worst that'll happen? And we go down there, and it's some lights, and we're like, all right, just a bunch of tables. And then we kind of go down a few more steps and see, and it's like, there it is. This entire, 5 days, we couldn't find this goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, there it is. And we're like, let's go. Because it was like 10, 11 o'clock, and we're like, oh, we get to buffet, we get to eat.
Yeah.
And we're the only ones there. So we get our stuff, and we're like, let's go back to the room. But it's in the very back of the ship, and there's no, door access there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck. So we're having to, walk through the wind of the ship and everything coming at us. And, I'm not kidding, had chips, flying off my plate. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. And Maddie's just like, my food's getting cold. This sucks. I'm like, what the heck? We finally get back to our room because you got to go through the front, through the top deck, go down some stairs, then go through it again, and then get inside, then go down the elevator, down 2 staircases to get to our room.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we get there, we're like, oh my God, this took forever. And it's like, we're outside. It's cold. It was kind of wet. And then last night we were like, all right, let's go get a buffet. Let's pray it's not at the Great Outdoors. Let's pray it's not there. And we look, and we go to this one where it's it's inside. If it was inside, one day it rained, and that's where it was.
Right.
We look, and they have a sign up. It's the buffet's at the Great Outdoors. We're like, no, damn it. So we kind of collect ourselves for a minute. We're like, all right. Let's go. Let's fight. Let's fight through this. Let's fight through Mother Nature.
Yeah.
We've already gone this much. So we are just basically bitching and moaning all the way up the stairs because the wind is so strong at this point. We're like, oh my God. So it's kind of raining a little bit. And we get to the right kind of where you go down the stairs, and I'm like, Maddie, just go. You go. I'm going to meet you there. I'm going to go up these stairs, see if there's an elevator or something. There's got to be something down here. There's no way you have to walk through this entire boat. It makes no sense. So I'm running up around, and I think I sent it to you, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is bullshit. I take out my phone. I'm like, some things irk me, and that irked me because now I'm also fighting through aggressive winds because now I'm like at the top floor with all of the wind. There's nothing breaking it. I'm just like, Norwegian, what the fuck, man? This is bullshit. Why do we have to walk all the way to the end of the boat? All this wind at me. I'm just like, this is bullshit, man. Like, what the fuck? Why are we putting our buffet all the way in? All my shit's gonna fly off my plate. This sucks. And I go down the stairs because I'm finally getting there. And Maddie's at the bottom and goes, we're dumb. Oh, this isn't good. Right away, cut off the video. It's like, why? It's just like, and it's like a door slightly behind the bar, sliding door, and you just walk through, and it's right through the restaurant that would have the buffet if it was inside.
Right.
And we were like, wait, no, we can't go through that, can we? As we do, like, 5 people come through it. And we're like, no. We're like, but it was blocked off. Like, we walked over to it, and it's roped off. Like, what? So we're like, all right, let's go through that way. If someone yells at us, like, it's fuck it, their problem.
Right.
So we go through and it's roped off. So you go through the back. They only let you walk a certain way. And we go, could we have walked this way to it? And they go, yeah, how else would you have got there? We go, it's a good question. It's a very good question. Have a good night. It's just like, this is bullshit. So like, you really got to explore. You really got to explore. You're making things hard.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was a tough time. But
well, I mean, here's the thing I was going to ask is why didn't you guys just eat at the buffet? And I mean, did they not have seating?
You could, but it was outdoors still. And we were like, we wanted to sit in the bed, lay in the bed, really relax.
Right.
Because like our thing was the last like 3 or 4 days, like we'd get the buffet. I'd get like 4 slices of pizza because our pizza was off the hook.
Was it?
It was. We couldn't figure out why. Like, it literally looked like it was just like a microwave pizza. But like, the sauce wasn't amazing, but it was like, it had something to it. And I don't know what the cheese was. I don't know what was up with this thing. I don't know.
Were they putting sprinkling some crack in the mozzarella?
Honestly, that has to be the only thing. Because like, even Maddie was like, I'm not like a massive pizza person. But she's like, this is really good. Like, there's something with this that's really good.
Yeah.
Like, we'd have it for a lot. I had a cheeseburger and pizza literally almost every day. And I was like, it's not good. I've eaten nothing but red meat and pizza sauce all week. I'm like, this isn't good. I'm going to die. I'm going to have a heart attack and diabetes before I get off this boat. But it was that and like, they had some really good like chocolate chip cookies that were really good. But it was really cool. The whole thing, it's a lot of fun. I really want like our family to go. It's tons of fun. I would be insane with all of us there because like with just me and Maddie, like I wasn't as like way over the top and like high energy like I am. Like me at like one of our family gatherings and then just put that on a boat all week. I'm like,
yeah,
I would go wild.
I mean,
it'd be awesome to set up, but I doubt it.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think I'd probably get bored after a couple days because I'm one of those people like when I was staying with Reese and Chris and years ago and on my weekends I would take the train into the city and would just like walk around and just like not get lost but kind of like get lost. And I don't know, I feel like I'd spend like a couple of days kind of exploring and just like know everything and where it is, and I'd just be like, all right, what are we doing tonight? Oh, we're watching show tunes again? Oh,
see,
no thanks.
That's the fun. That's what was nice about it is you did kind of like run out of things to see, but it was all just like casual drinking is what was fun. But like also you have to like kind of piece together like how we were supposed to do it. It was supposed to be 2 days on the boat, 3 days in Bermuda, and then another 2 or 3 days on the boat again, but 1 day in Bar Harbor.
Yeah.
So like the first 2 days, the first day you're just on the boat drinking, having tons of fun, like seeing stuff and like taking in all the new. The second day, like you're just kind of retracing your steps in a more collected way.
Yep.
You're like, oh, okay, okay, this is how I get here. Okay, hold on, let me go here. Okay, this is how I can get here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I fuck with this spot. I don't like what's going on here.
Right.
I don't like the vibe that's coming here. But for us, we were there on the ship 80% of the trip.
Right.
So it was like towards the end, we were like, okay, yeah, this is a lot. Plus with rocky water, it was a bit. But like even that was the thing. Like everyone told me, you don't feel like you're on a boat, and you don't get sick of the boat because you're not on it a lot.
Right.
It was like, well, we got choppy water, and we were mostly on the boat,
Right.
and it was still fun. And I'm someone who's like, I'm ADD. Like I constantly need to, like we'd be sitting somewhere, like we sit at the like cocktail martini bar. And we'd kind of sit there and like the guy would play the piano, he'd play a couple songs, and it's like it's just really cool at first. Like you really get into the vibe. And I'm just sitting there and like, my ADD kicks in and I'm like, I can't just sit here. Like I can't just be like,
Yeah.
I need to go somewhere else. I need to do more. So it was like we just get up, we'd walk around or sit somewhere else and then move here. Like there's so many there's like 3 like just actual bars, just a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bar kind of put like if you go to like Foxwoods, how it's just like random bar here with chairs around it.
Right.
There it is. But then there's 2 like high-end actually 3 or 4 like high-end restaurants where it's like you're going to go, you're going to sit, you're going to open a menu, you're going to order something. And then there's like 2 buffets.
Right.
So it's like you always have something different to go to.
Right.
Where if the trip actually was the way it was, like you get a good energy because by the time you get to Bermuda, you're like, okay, I've seen what I want on the boat. Time for something new. And then you take in the island the same way. You get to do all that. And by the time you're like, all right, I kind of got it. I'm good. I got it.
Yeah.
You're back on the boat. But now you're like, you feel more confident because you're like, I know where I'm going. Like, I know what I want to do here. So it's like, yeah,
Until you take your buffet trip through the bowels of the ship.
Through the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically throwing my pizza into the coal to run the ship. But
Yeah.
it was cool. I mean, we didn't hit any icebergs. I didn't have to do the Jack and Rose Titanic thing like I was worried about.
I mean, you're pretty far off course for icebergs, so
Yeah, but
I mean, you're probably at least a 1,000 or so nautical miles south of that.
yeah, we were
but-
a while away, but it was really cool. And do not do a cruise without a balcony. That's all I'm gonna say. You just don't.
So there were rooms that didn't have balconies?
Yeah. They're like just so the beds, no matter what, are 2 twin beds.
Oh, you
And
can
if you
get
want
like
a queen, they just put it together.
Oh,
And they have a good way of like you don't really feel it, but like that's the option. And then like so if you have the balcony room, there are the twin beds and you can choose to separate them, and then there's kind of a small couch that can be like a
pulled out.
pull out. So you got plenty of room, but it's not more room than you need, and it's not like squished where if you don't have the balcony, it sucks.
Oh, I mean,
It
I
sucks.
doubt you actually got a glimpse of any of those rooms.
Yeah, we got to see some because when we left, when you leave, like as soon as you get off,
They're probably
when you
like
leave the
they're
room-
turning everything over.
Yeah, when you leave the room, like they're right away cleaning out.
Right.
So when we finally left, because we were like the 3rd to last boarding group to leave.
Yep.
So we were pretty low down. So by the time we walked through, you have to walk through like one of the bottom row of rooms, and that's
They're all open.
enclosed, like no windows really, or like one window. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like you might as well be fucking in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Like it is. So I just recommend throw the extra shingles to it and shackles. Nope.
Clams.
Yeah, I'll go clams.
Spend the extra clams.
Yeah, just drop the coins, get a balcony, because you get room chopped up. You can just open the slider, have the thing open. You don't have to go to the top. The only time our feet were in water was in Bermuda on a beach put our feet in the water. We never once went to the pool. We never put on bathing suits.
Mm-hmm.
Not once. This is like
was it like you didn't want to, or?
We also didn't really have the opportunity. Like on the island, we didn't have the opportunity to swim. We just didn't have the time. But also on the ship, it was like the weather wasn't amazing, but it was also like the pools aren't incredible. So unless you want to swim at night, it was an option we could have. We were like, we don't want to swim that bad, so
yeah.
whatever.
I mean, it's probably still pretty cool out there at this time of the summer.
Yeah, it was. It's really good temperature. Like the first day was cloudy, and I still got a little bit of a sunburn.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone today, who I seen for the first time since being back to work, was like, "Oh, you got some sun," and then I was like, "Yeah, but I haven't been there in a week now." So
yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, so you definitely got a good tan. So you still get the sun. It's just
yeah."
But it's really cool. I definitely want to try and talk people into it. Which hold on. I wanted to FaceTime Rachel.
Oh boy!
And try and talk her real quick into doing a cruise.
Make sure you don't tell her that we're on the podcast.
Okay. I don't even think she'll answer, to be honest.
It's kind of late.
Yeah, but I've called her before pretty late, and she answered once.
Mm.
I don't think we were recording, but no, don't look good. She was like in bed too, I think, when it happened, and she's just like, "What?" I was like, "Oh my God, you answered." She's like, "Why wouldn't I?" Off a track record, you don't like me?
Yeah.
I guess not. You should be able to leave a voicemail for
a voicemail for FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So like
cool feature.
Hold on. I don't know if you can. I should have tried, but yeah. So like, cause like, no one listens to a voicemail on phones, so it's like, let me see what I'm missing out on. Let me see if I want to call you back.
Right.
Yeah. How do you feel about FaceTimes too? Because I've heard mixed things. I've heard mixed people be like, you don't just FaceTime someone.
Well, I mean,
it's a big discussion.
It's kind of, I guess, for me, I have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, like for example, last night after we watched the game, or what was it, halftime or something?
Mm-hmm.
when I FaceTimed you, like,
mm-hmm.
it depends on what's going on and what I want to talk about, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I have to be in the mood for it. But I mean, like for example, like if I was home and you FaceTime me, like right
mm-hmm.
around now, I'd answer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I'm a big FaceTime person. I'll do it like no matter what. Like if I'm at the grocery store and I'm just like picking something up and
well actually let me so like let's say I'm at work and you tried FaceTime me and be like, no, like if it's that much of an emergency, like you can call me real quick.
Oh,
you know, because I'm like walking around at work on my phone like this, like FaceTiming.
I don't think there's a situation.
It wouldn't be a good look, but yeah. Anyway,
I guess that's you put more into your job than I would. Like I don't think there's a real situation where I wouldn't answer.
Well, I mean, I work in a pretty busy environment, so
yeah, that's true. But even if I was busy, like I saw it, I would just walk away. I love pretending. So like if I saw it, if I was like really busy at work and I was like doing something and I was like, oh, guys, my brother's calling. Something's going on. I'll be right back, and I just leave.
Right.
And you'd be like. Because Cameron, I think, has done it. He's like, what are you doing? And it's like something stupid.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll sit here and talk. Why not?
Right.
But, like, I don't think there's a situation where I wouldn't. Like, I know very little about, like, my own things. Like, I don't know my pant size. I don't know.
How do you not know your pant size?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't.
Well, actually, let me tell
you. I know it's like 34, 32 or 32, 34. But I don't know which one's which. I don't know if the width is first, if the length's first. I always have to Google it, and then I have to like ask Maddie, and then I have to ask Mom. I go, "What's my thing?" And they go, "I don't know." I go, "Which one's first?" And then I can kind of figure it out. But,
well, I mean, I think part of the reason why I know my pant size so well is because it basically hasn't changed ever since I started buying my own clothes.
Like, yeah, mine hasn't changed either. I just don't know. Like, I don't remember. I'll buy like 5 or 6 pairs of jeans all at once, and I run.
So yeah,
them.
it's the waist that's first, and it's the length is the second number, because my pant size is 30 waist, 32 length.
I think I'm 34, 32. I think.
Yeah.
But I definitely have mixed them up before. I've definitely gotten pants that are like, these are too tight and too short. This is fun. Like, I definitely haven't gotten fatter and taller.
Right.
Like, this isn't happening. But like, I also don't know like certain things I like. So like, we'll be at the store.
What do you mean?
Like food and stuff. So like, we'll be at the grocery store. Like we're big on certain meals. We're really big on cooking, like steak and cheese, mac and cheese. Anything with cheese. Honestly,
I had a feeling that's exactly what you were going to say.
Yeah, anything with cheese, like quesadillas. I shred my own cheese. I put other already pre-shredded cheese on. I put so much cheese in it. I literally am not shitting right now, and it's because I've had nothing but pizza, cheeseburgers with 2 things of cheese on it from the cruise, and then got home and I've made quesadillas with 3 different types of cheeses on it 2 nights in a row. I put
no protein or anything in there, like no like chicken quesadillas or something.
No, I put. Well, it's not just cheese quesadilla. I put like ground beef in it.
Yeah,
and then I put like onions, tomatoes, and stuff. And then I put queso in it.
Queso, like the liquid cheese stuff.
Yeah, queso. Yeah.
Oh Jesus,
I'm a big queso.
Dude, that's a lot of cheese.
It's so much cheese. Like Maddie isn't even surprised anymore by how much. Like I was doing it the other day, and I looked at it, and I look at it. And I go to the fridge, I grab the block of cheese again, and I shred it a little bit more. She goes, yeah, that's what that was missing, cheese. It's like, I layered it with, it's the quesadilla, cheese. No, I shredded my own cheese, and I put mozzarella on it. And then I put...
Mozzarella on a quesadilla?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Any cheese. I don't care what it is. And then I put onions, tomatoes, and I put a layer of queso. I put, not a layer, but I put some around it, way more than you think you should. And then I put the meat, and then I put some more shredded cheese on it. My own shredded cheese. I shred my own cheese. Sharp cheddar, extra sharp. Don't get it twisted. Extra sharp. The red pouch, and then I put more queso. And then close it. Boom. Put it in.
How does this thing not fall apart with all that goddamn cheese in it?
Because you really gotta. So when you taco it, but you really gotta push it in. You gotta give a good couple, like maybe that much room, between your meat to the end of the tortilla. So that way, when it starts to melt and stuff, by the time it starts to get onto the thing, it starts going. You go, all right, it's cooked.
Okay,
It's cooked.
You have quite the
Madness.
Quite the technique for making quesadillas.
Yeah, you should see us make mac and cheese. It is a goddamn process, and it is aggressive with cheese. The packages of the shredded cheese. I use 2 of those. One of 2 different types of cheeses. Use all that, and then I use basically 2/3 of a block of cheese.
Jesus Christ!
I shred it, and then we put
How much pasta is in this macaroni and cheese?
Is 2 ounces, I think. Not ounces.
2 ounces. Well, no, like a normal box of.
No. We do our own.
Do your own.
I'll call Maddie. She knows what it is. But it's
what, you make your own pasta?
No. We'll get our own plain box of just pasta. It's not
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a box of pasta. I think it's either a pound or 2 pounds or something like that.
2 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah,
2
2
pounds
pounds.
of it. Yeah. We'll put it over here until she answers. But
Should have FaceTimed her.
Yeah, I should have. Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, so what kind of
Pasta?
pasta? There we go. I couldn't think of the word. Pasta do we use for our mac and cheese?
Cavatappi.
Cavatappi. How much?
2 pounds.
2 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, and then we use the two packs of the cheese. I shred that block of cheese, and then and then she's like, "Okay, that's a lot of cheese. We're good." And then I still will sprinkle some more when she's not looking.
Yeah.
But we cook the pasta, and then we put it in, and then we melt the heavy whipping cream, like butter, the cheese in it,
Yeah.
and then we put it in. So like it's not just like, but it's dense.
It sounds fucking dense.
It's dense. We're like, Dad'll have some. He's like, it's really good, but I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only have like, I can only eat like 5 bites and I'm full.
Yeah, I ate like a bowl and a half,
Oh my god.
and I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna
It's so
be
much-
yeah.
It's so much work, and then you can't even eat that
Yeah.
much.
Oh, but you put some broken Ritz crackers in that
Oh,
joint.
you gotta put that on the top and like kind of.
Oh yeah. Well, so then I mix it, and I put some more on it. So like, you don't just get the top layer; you get some like.
That is a lot of carbs and a lot of fat, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
we
a
don't make it all the time.
no, just because it's a lot of work.
Periodically, yeah.
Yeah, but it's Next time you come, give me a heads up, and we'll make some like for the night.
No.
I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of scared.
It's too late. Like now it's gonna
Good.
happen. I told him about how I make quesadillas.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's
good.
they're really good. Well, mine's really good, but it's just like, I mean, how many times since you've been here have I gone to poop? Like 3 times.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I don't get it all out at once. It works its way. It figures it out, especially this week.
I think you start taking the fiber that Dad's been taking.
I probably should. COVID has been.
Oh.
Right now I've been like, oh, COVID's really messing up my poop.
Yeah, that's got nothing to do with the COVID, bud.
No, but that's my excuse. I'm like, oh, cheese and COVID don't mix. But
It's good that you're just getting it all out right away.
I'm not.
Oh, I thought you said you were.
No.
You said you pooped.
No, that's why I've gone like 3 times.
Well, yeah, that means you're pooping a lot. No.
Yeah, but it's not like all at once. Like it's not just a one.
Well, I mean, if it was a one-off, you'd probably be sitting there for a good 45 minutes.
Well, I mean, I do sit there a while.
Yeah, I know
Like
you do.
Yeah, but
It seems like you're still getting it all out pretty quick, though.
yeah, but it's still there. But yeah, okay. I just wanted to figure out what the pasta was.
We're pivoting to the bowel movement part of the podcast.
Yeah. But, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. Bye. Yeah, I'm way too much with cheese. Like it's aggressive, and I always have. But yeah, I stopped kind of drinking milk just because I'm like, all right, that probably is way too much to add to
That's
it.
a lot of dairy.
Yeah, we used to drink like just whole milk too.
No, I know. I mean,
So it was like,
when I was a kid, that's all we would drink is milk.
yeah,
I mean, I remember when we were younger, like when Mom would go grocery shopping, we would get like 3 or 4 fucking gallons of milk. Like remember we would do the trips in with the bags of groceries and be
Yeah.
like, oh, there's gallon number 4.
yeah. You got to do a lot. It's
Yeah.
tough.
So yeah, did you want to briefly touch on the green guys? The green guys being the Celtics.
Yeah.
I mean, we discussed it a little bit last night, and it was just like, I think all things considered, I'm really not surprised that they didn't win the series. I'm really not. Like it was obviously holding out for it. Like, oh, they could pull it off. They could pull it off, but it's just kind of the way that the team set up. Like they don't really have an like a legitimate point guard, and these guys are still pretty young, and they were all doing a lot of minutes. Like they didn't seem like they went to the
Yeah.
bench very
No,
often.
there's
So
not a lot
these
of
guys
bench.
were
I
super
mean,
tired.
The
you
only
know?
bench players that, if you can really call them bench players, because like Al Horford could be a starter, but like Al comes off the bench, Devin or whatever his name, White comes off the bench, Grant Williams comes off the bench. And that's really it. I mean, during the playoffs, you saw that other big man like Theus come off. He's the big, tall, white guy who can't shoot, can't really rebound. But I mean, it's really only 3 guys.
Yeah.
3 guys you come off your bench. It's like, it's not. Oh, I'm leaving out Pritchard or something like that, the little white guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty good because he's I think he played smart, but it's just like defensively, they know what they're like. They push, they're aggressive, and it's really good. But it's like they take that same way on offense.
Well,
and it's
in
like,
offense, it's like either they're turning over way too much, and it's like they're not very consistent. Like they'll have really like great shooting games, and then other ones is just like it's not there
it's
at
a
all.
mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's too bad because it's nice because like those guys care about both ways. Like, how many videos have you seen of like James Harden and like Kyrie and Kevin Durant? Like, just let a dude blow by him because he's like, I'm gonna go down, get 2 points, 3 points in a minute.
Yeah.
Like they want to shut you down.
Yeah. And I think
defense. But it's like then there's no plan for the offense because, like you said, like nothing against my guy Smart, but
he's not.
He's a defensive-minded guy,
right?
So he wants to drive it at you, and like Brown's kind of the same way. Like he wants to. He's so athletic and he can jump so like he's so athletic where I'm gonna drive it at you. I'm driving at you. But he fucking loses the ball all the time.
Well, he's not
so many turnovers.
He's not a ball handler because he's what a small forward.
I don't know.
But like Marcus Smart, even like if they were to, call him their unofficial point guard, like he's big for that position. No,
he's not big.
No, he's not.
I don't think so. I think he's pretty short.
Oh,
I think he's on the smaller end.
Well, I mean, he's turned it over quite a bit. Like their ball handling is just it's not.
It's terrible. It's terrible. They make very bad decisions quite a bit. But then they also like just assume they're gonna have a hot quarter, which most of this playoffs they have. They'll have one really intense quarter, but it's like this entire time watching, it's like the third quarter. It's either their kiss of death or they're slashing your throat.
Right.
And most of the time so far, it's been their kiss of death of like, that's how you know they're going to lose. How they play in the third quarter, because they will blow the game.
Right.
I don't know. It looks good for the future, but at the same time, it's like, is Tatum going to be consistent? Because like,
well, I mean,
I don't want to pile on because everyone says like, oh, like it needs to go through Tatum. It's like, yeah, but it's not like he's just the offensive guy. Like he's really good on defense too.
Right.
And he makes really bad shot decisions. Like he's gets in his head of like, I need to be the offensive guy and start this.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I saw Brown make more shots than him for these playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like,
we probably discussed this a little bit last night, but I was talking to a coworker of mine, and another thing that I noticed is, like you were saying with shot decisions, like they could be like, what, 10 to 12 seconds into the shot clock, and they're just like, whoop, just heaving it up. It's like, why don't you just like slow down, try to, and I feel like they did too much ISO, like, ISO plays. It's like, you just like set up some picks and stuff. Like,
there weren't a lot of picks. It was really, let me drive at you. I'm going to drive, and I'm going to kick it out, and then he's going to kick it to him, and then he's going to shoot the three.
Right.
Which is like, it's fine, but you're not always doing that, and you're really hoping.
Because if you always keep doing that same thing, they can kind of like see what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, game one, White, Al Horford, and I think Smart had like really good games. Like they killed it from the three. Like we annihilated them with the threes. Yeah. And Draymond Green, after a press conference, was like, if them the dudes who shot us out of the arena will be good.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that every night.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're right. They didn't.
Yeah.
They can't. You can't rely so much on the threes. You can have lockdown defense like we do, but like unless you're Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers, like
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think one of the biggest things that they should focus on, like, it's there's no need to like pull the whole team apart. It's like I think it's all you need to do is just like put people. How do you say it? Like, well, like for example, like they need like a point guard. Like they need somebody to facilitate. like they say, like you were saying, like everybody says, oh no, it's got to go through Tatum. Well, from
I don't think
everything
so.
that I've seen, it's like his confidence really like dropped off towards the end of the playoffs.
He
You
got
know?
two in his head of, because some of their best time was he would make like he'd get 10 points, but then like the other guys around him were also making big shots.
Right.
So it's like the best part about the team is like they're a team.
Right.
Like they all seem like they're all going to hang out together. Like it seems like genuinely in the locker room and like travel, like they look like they have a blast together.
Right.
But at the same time, like that same energy is when something's going bad. Everyone's
Then they all
everyone's
fall off.
energy is together. Everyone's like, fuck, man, but they all like enjoy each other so much and love each other so much. Where it's when it's going bad, like Tatum's like, all right, I'm gonna get us started. Jalen Brown's, I'm gonna get us started. Marcus Smart's like, I'm gonna get some picks. I'm gonna get some steals. I'm gonna get us started. Like everyone then is trying to do too much. Like that second, third quarter, it's all you could see is like them being like, all right, let me try and make this play. Let's get me started. You don't get it, and then they run down, get a three.
Right.
It's like, and we don't rebound sometimes. So it's,
Well, there's that, and then I also noticed that, I mean, the past few games, like they would be looking for calls. It's like this is the finals. Like you're not gonna get not easy calls, but it's like, oh, you get a little bit of contact. This isn't the regular season. Like, if you get a little bit of contact, it doesn't get called. Like, don't stand there and argue for 10 seconds.
I mean, with any series, like there's gonna be calls where you're like, that's bullshit. Like there were those calls in this, obviously, but like you can't
expect to call.
Yeah, that won't. And even if you get it, like that's not gonna change anything for you. That's not gonna give you the momentum. Like that's not the way to get the momentum, especially to win. And that's what you could see in the team is like we just missed, or we're just like a few levels shy from that like underdog mentality where like the Warriors, no matter where they're at score wise, like they fully believe they can just get themselves out of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, if you look at it, like obviously they're different players, but like Brown, Tatum, Smart, really similar to Clay, Steph, and Draymond. Because like Draymond is not the offensive guy, but he's defense, disruptor, high energy. He's going to foul out. He fouled out most of the finals. But like dudes feed off of that.
Yeah.
Steph's offensively amazing. And Clay is really good offensively, but can shut you down on defense and be disruptor. We're like, that's the same way. They're kind of the same, but like the Celtics 3 are just a little bit lower tiered and younger.
Yeah.
We're like, those 3 are veterans. Like, this is their 4th championship and like 8th, 9th time there.
Yeah.
7th time there. Like they've been there a lot.
I mean, it's what, the 4th time in
Their
a row.
4th title, and then they've lost, I think, 3.
But yeah.
Because
I mean, it's just the confidence, and the confidence is just
they've been there.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
They lost the first game, and we're like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
There's a lot to go. We're like, Celtics won the first game, and everyone's like, "This, you can't beat the Celtics." Fuck, man, like, be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just it kind of got. I think the pressure was just too high for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I was saying earlier, like their bench isn't that deep, so like it's not like they were getting a lot of rest. I mean, even if they could get like a minute or two, it's really wasn't enough.
I mean, when you look at like the Warriors bench, Iguodala, who didn't play much, but like he's that guy who doesn't need to play.
Right.
He was constantly pulling Wiggins, who's a number 1 overall draft pick a few years ago, and like coaching him up, helping him, making sure he's ready, letting guys know like what the mindset is, and like Poole, like he didn't shoot amazingly in the finals, but like he's a really talented kid. Where like we had to focus on him when he's on the court.
Yeah.
Like that's a bench player. That's huge.
Yeah, I'd be more of a role player. I mean, obviously he's
started.
coming off the bench, but I mean, there's
Comes off the bench, but like, yeah,
he's a role player.
But that's a guy like defensively you need to watch.
Exactly. So like
You
that was his
can't-
role, was to be a disruptor.
Yeah, it'll be. I was worried too if the Warriors had lost, like, because I mean I started watching in the start of the playoffs really, and I was like, I really liked the Warriors team. We followed it obviously, but like, if me and Cameron were arguing about it, if they lose, that Klay Thompson would get shipped out.
I don't believe that.
Just because he's been injury prone, he's kind of spent his time. If they didn't make it, like, you got to adjust something. Like, you're going to get a lot of picks for him. Like, he's an amazing player. So get the picks and try and get guys to win or get a trade or something. I am glad they won to prove, like, hey, it's just the three of us right now with a bunch of these really great guys behind us. We can still win.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're not going to disrupt the team. Like, I don't think you're going to see much different team out of the Warriors.
No, I mean they're still
I don't
still
know.
in their prime.
Yeah, I don't know contract what's up with there, but I don't know contract anything for NBA. I don't follow it enough.
Yeah, neither do I. But
But
yeah,
it is a good time to be a Boston sports fan. Like, we're not like as dominant as we were like the 2000s and 2010s of Boston, where like the Celtics were like that gritty dominant team, and like Tom Brady and the Red Sox and the Bruins. You can't lock in any Bruins teams for playoffs and championships, but it's like, it is nice. Like, the Patriots are going to be good this year. Like, I don't think we're going to be below 500.
I mean, I haven't followed very, very much, but one of the last news things that I heard, and it kind of bothered me because, like, when I'd first heard it, I was like, that doesn't really make sense. And then listening to the talking heads afterwards, kind of confirming what my thought was so Belichick brought Matt Patricia back in, and Matt Patricia is historically a defensive coordinator. Now, some of the analysis I'd heard is, and I either didn't realize this or just didn't know, was that when Matt Patricia first started as a Patriots coach, he was actually on the offensive side. But I don't know how long that was. But all that being said, shipping him back over to the offensive side after he's been a defensive-minded coach for so long, it's like, that doesn't seem like a sound decision to me.
I mean, I don't know.
And plus,
he's a actual like engineer. He's a super smart guy.
Right. But I mean,
like,
in
whatever.
his tenure in Detroit, like,
Oh,
that was pretty bad.
It did take. I think it took a lot.
And it's not that I have anything bad about Matt Patricia. It's just like,
It didn't help.
yeah,
It hurt. It didn't only hurt because like it's Detroit. It is hard to win. It is a hard place to win. But it didn't help with players being like, "Fuck that dude." Like, players openly being like, "I don't like Matt Patricia.
yeah,
I didn't want to play with for him. That's why I left.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to play." So it's like, that hurts the same way like Josh McDaniels did the Colts a few years ago when he was going to be head coach, took the job, started hiring dudes, and then backed out at the last minute.
yeah.
Like, I didn't think he was going to ever get a coaching job. And I'm glad he did, so he's out of New England, because I don't love Josh McDaniels. But it's like, I can't believe he got another job just because of that. Like, I wouldn't have given him a job. I'm like, go fuck yourself, buddy.
Well, I mean, all the things that I've heard about Josh McDaniel's situation is, after he kind of botched that head coaching job, he also had, he was introspective and had the presence of mind to be like, okay, I can't blame anybody else for my performance except for me. And like kind of not picked himself apart, but just like understood what his mistakes were and learned from them.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of that, isn't, oh yeah, that was the other thing I heard, that Bill Belichick's going to be like the unofficial OC.
Probably. I mean, his son and Mayo, I know, are still like basically calling defensive plays together.
Right, but it's basically like he's
Yeah,
the
I
buck
don't know.
stops with him.
I don't know what's the offense like. I don't know. I kind of wish they brought someone in. Like I thought they were gonna bring in Cornell.
Is he still coaching?
I don't know if he is, but
I think he retired.
Could have, but they could have dragged him out.
That's true. Who was that? Was it the offensive line coach that they brought out of retirement like 3 times? What was his name?
I can't remember his name. I was thinking about that too, but I couldn't remember his name, so I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's got like a long, almost just a weird name.
The last time he left too, he was just like, I'm done.
And he's super old. Like, isn't he like around Belichick's, maybe older?
Yeah. Old.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is fun. Like I said, it's fun being a Boston sports fan. Like,
no, absolutely. And I mean, I think
all of our teams are good right now.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, there's not a lot of good things to hear about right now coming out of the Bruins.
I don't follow hockey. Hockey, all the sports but football, I don't follow until it gets closer to the playoffs. I don't.
So
basketball, I've started to follow a little more before playoffs, but not a ton, just because it's more fun to like watch.
So just off the top of my head, the stuff that I've heard, I mean, you know that Bruce Cassidy got fired as head coach.
Oh yeah, I forgot about all that.
I saw this on Facebook. It was either yesterday or the day before. Is that the Las Vegas Golden Knights picked him up, and I was like, whoa! Like the Golden Knights, like they just came off of Stanley Cup a couple of years ago. So it's like that's interesting. So Brad Marchand is going in for double hip surgery, which is, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to recover from. I know there's a couple other players, I can't think of the names off the top of my head, that are going through pretty major surgeries as well. I think one of them was shoulder, and I forget what the other one is. And then there's this looming cloud about Patrice Bergeron because it sounds like he wants to retire. Like,
yeah,
that's
he's been going a while.
Well, there's that. I mean, it's not necessarily that he's like retirement age because he's still relatively young considering. But that cloud's been looming over the organization, I think, most of the year, because I think he started alluding to it maybe halfway through or whatever it was. But yeah, I don't know, there's a pretty dark cloud hanging over the Garden right now in terms of, at least for the Bruins anyway.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always just look at Boston as like Boston's that sport, no, all the sports where you can't like count them out for the like the Boston just always has a way of like they're in talks no matter what.
Well, I mean, they have so many prestigious clubs. Like before the Patriots got really good, like with Tom and Bill. Before that, like just the Celtics and Bruins alone, like those are like storied franchises. Like it's so much like history and like success, you know. So it's just there's a lot of it's just a lot. You know, a lot going for that building.
A lot of trophies go through the sports of Boston. I mean, there's a lot of people who spend their entire lives and never see their professional sports teams even sniff a championship game. And I'm 26. I mean, not that it's super old or young, but I've seen all 4 of our major sports teams win a championship multiple times in my lifetime already.
Well, no, you've only seen the Bruins win once.
2011.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they've been to the finals.
They've been there.
Right.
So I still count at least like a trip is still there.
Right.
The Celtics have won 1 or 2, and then they just obviously lost. And then Patriots obviously are just like a powerhouse,
right? Or
have been. And then like you've seen the Red Sox win.
What, 3 times now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like honestly,
and the Red Sox as well. Like they're just 3 very prestigious teams that
where people have like the what is it? The parade.
Yeah.
The parade after like I've literally gone. Maybe I should go see like history because like I'm a sports guy. Like that's a history moment. I'm like, man, fuck it, we'll be there again. Where it's like, I'll see another one. Where there's like when the Dodgers won the World Series a few years ago, like people lost their minds that the Cubs won because it's been so long.
Yeah.
Like, the Cubbies won. what? And, like, people lost their minds. Where it's like,
Yeah, because they had the longest slump out of any like team ever.
yeah, where like if the Celtics won the championship this year, like I wouldn't have gone to the parade. I would have been like, I'll see another Boston's championship. I'll see another one.
Mhm.
I'll be fine. I'll get the next one.
Yeah.
It's like it's not many towns that can be like, nah, we'll be good. Like obviously towns will be like, no, like the Steelers right now. Like Pittsburgh is like, oh, we're gonna get to one of them. Like Pirates will get there. Like the Penguins will get there. Steelers are gonna be there.
Yeah.
But like, been a while.
I heard. I was listening to. I listened to Colin Cowherd from time to time, and they did this segment. They were talking about basketball teams that have had, excuse me, the longest slump without any any chip at all. And I forget, it was either, I think it was the Phoenix Suns are like one of the only NBA teams that don't have a chip. It's like, wow. And I guess they're one of the older teams. Like I didn't realize they came from the ABA days. So
It is.
I mean,
tough.
that's a long ass time, but they've been in the finals. They just haven't won a chip.
No.
Because what was it? I think the last time they were there was when Barkley was around.
I don't know.
Because they played the Bulls in like 97 or 6 or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I also just can't wait for another like 5-10 years because this documentaries are so big now, and just the sports that have like come out of the last decade and like the teams like the Warriors, the final dance for the Warriors, the final the final dance documentary for the Bulls,
The Last
that
Dance.
version for the Warriors, going over their history is going to be fantastic. And like this Kobe Bryant documentary that's going to come out, because Kobe Bryant did the same thing Jordan did, where he gave a full access documentary crew to that last season he had. So like, and obviously now like rest in peace, Revenge Tour. I can't remember what else we would say, but Revenge Tour. For whatever reason, me and Dean brought up 9/11, Twin Towers. We brought up a lot of rest in peace stuff. So we'd say a lot of rest in peace, Revenge Tour, a lot of stuff. So anytime you got to give a little rest in peace, you got to give a Revenge Tour. Revenge Tour, Dean.
Okay.
So,
oh well, speaking of Revenge Tour, so when he was on, I sidetracked the podcast because you sent me the Snapchat of him being here, and I was like, I got to give him shit.
Yeah.
So, Revenge Tour, Dean. I got to see you on the come up next season.
Some of the coworkers that joined the league, I had showed them the trophy and the ring, and they're like, one of them's so excited. Like he's a big sports guy. He just went to mom's work, so I don't get to see him as much. We don't get to talk sports as much, but he's so excited. And he was like, yo, bro, like, I can't wait to get a ring, bro. Like, I'm going to win. He goes, but I ain't going to be I'm not super confident. I haven't done fantasy before. And he's like, so I'm going to be new. I'm going to be shit for a little while. I go, here's the thing, man. Like, that's fantasy, dog. Like,
yeah, you could be fire right off the bat.
I go, bro, I was in 3 leagues once, and I went undefeated in one, won a championship, and another one, wins the championship and won. And then the third one was dog shit. I won 2 games. I go, bro, I had similar teams. I go, like, there's in the same time, like, I've won and then been terrible the next year. I'm like, there's no
consistency.
Really there's no like, I'm really good. Like, it's no control of yours.
Yeah.
But he's excited.
Well, it's good. It'd be good to get some fresh blood in, because
those
a couple of our guys are kind of. They don't really participate.
Yeah, there's people who are in it and don't do anything, and then there's some who start the year and then just are like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So it'll be, but I mean, whatever. We'll see. It'll be fun once that starts up to be able to do some tracking. I'll do some tracking on the pod. We'll kind of show, because, I don't know. We'll see. I'll figure out something fun to do.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go to the bathroom, so we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, so do I. I don't know if you could tell I was getting a little squirmy over here.
So we'll wrap it up, but Cameron's scared of me because of COVID, so I appreciate you hammering this out with me.
No, it's all
It'll be
good.
good.
I mean, I'm really. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I wasn't scared.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. Till next time.
Advice?
Oh, fuck. I see. That's how bad this cheese is running through me. I'm like, all right, this is fun. Gotta get the cheese out.
Don't eat too much cheese.
I was gonna say it, but like, fuck it. Put more cheese on it. Never enough cheese.
Oh, I had something. I just lost it. Next time you do the podcast, make sure you come in with some advice.